Welcome to the wide, wide world of steaming. It's really exciting. Make sure your steamer's going. Yada, yada, yada. Push the button, make sure it's on. Yeah. We got the wrinkles. You see the wrinkles? Is it focusing on the wrinkles? Yeah, there we go. That is a wrinkly ass shirt right there. So we can pan up and down. Wrinkly. Let's come this way. Wrinkles. That's a wrinkly shirt. Wrinkly shirt. Oh yeah, I'll start up here. So this is the bummer part because whenever you steam, you get all of these like stinky little sweat spots. So that's why it's more efficient to steam a big pile of stuff all at once, and then by the time you're done with all of the steaming that you've done, then the first shirt that you steamed that already has water spots on it will hopefully be dry. So it all takes a bit of time, and you have to kind of go inside and out. The nice thing about steaming a bunch of things all at once is also like when you start stacking them up on top of each other, then it continues to steam the thing that's like let's say the next thing that we're steaming. Let's grab this one. So we'll have like the next thing that you're steaming, you have that right behind here, and in the meantime you're kind of pre-steaming the thing that you're already steaming. So that helps get some of the wrinkles out. So like as you can see, there's like wrinkles all over the place, and you just kind of have to take your time and just erase them like a little magic wand. And it helps to go along the seams too. If you steam along the seam, so try and make sure that you get that line there, and then steam along that seam. Pretty exciting stuff. The thing with that fabric is you also a little bit easier to steam on the underside too. So kind of come in from the inside and then steam out, and then that'll help you go along that seam too. You want to get like every single minuscule tiny wrinkle out of the shirt, because when you're focusing, even when you're like using the magic wand or any of the other Photoshop tools, the texture of the fabric gets warped if you try and use the tools on Photoshop to remove wrinkles. I mean, you can sometimes remove some wrinkles, but you get some weird digital artifacting if you do it too much in Photoshop. And then almost always I go ahead and steam the backside too, like even if you don't really show it, because like I said, like when you're steaming through one side, the steam goes all the way through the other side, so it's also another way of just kind of making sure that the steam travels all the way through. So there's like a good example of like a creepy crease that, like if that was on the mannequin right now, that wrinkle would show up pretty bad. This might be a fabric flaw, so I don't know. We'll see. See how much of that we can get. But I mean, always just kind of do your best and make sure to try and get those wrinkles all the way out. Some of these take a while. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to come all the way out. That might be a fabric flaw. Oh, there's some lovely little stains on this shirt. That's so we're gonna say, alright, gotta come still get funky spots down here. basically, this is the shirt, the best this shirt will ever look in a million years, because no one will ever do this at home. But, I mean, we're selling sort of an ideal situation for product. Okay, here we go. This is a long sleeve with a hood. So since we have to shoot the hood too, we have to steam both sides of this. So make sure we get all the buttons up in here. Through. Get all those basic wrinkles out. This is sort of a weird catch-22 that you get with these, with the long sleeves, is you go down and you get the seam like that, and then you steam the seam, and then the problem is you make a new, like a seam wrinkle on the side of it. So once you get the first sides of the sleeves steamed, get that all flattened out, then you actually have to split it back open like that, and then come back and then erase the new seam that you just made. So, see how there's a new wrinkle in it that was created by steaming it. And just kind of have to get in there. Erase that new one that you just made. So now it's got no seams, hopefully. Or hopefully just a light seam right there. Now you can see it's like leaving the stains all over it. Steaming with Luke. Fun, fun, fun. Come back in on the inside. Everything just up and down. I always keep my steam on the highest level possible, which usually works out unless you've got some kind of wonky, crazy fabric, and I have on occasion actually melted a fabric with the steamer. So, I mean, use your best judgment as to what's going to work best for, I mean, if it looks like it's going to be some weird plastic thing, like on a scarf, then don't use your highest steam. Or you might melt it. But luckily you're right there, so if you do actually melt one, then you can just go grab a new one and just throw that one in the bath pile. So yeah, we're gonna big old here. I mean, some of this stuff you can get rid of in Photoshop, like I said, but I mean, you want to limit how much you're going to leave to the Photoshoppers to clean up. Most of the time, if like you just run into an area like where it's like, I could spend the next 45 minutes trying to do this in the physical world, or we could spend 38 seconds in Photoshop fixing something. So you just kind of have to make that judgment call. Like most of the time, do the best you can in the real world, and then once you reach a certain limit, you just pass it off. Hope that the cleaner will actually pick up what you're putting. Alright, so we gotta get this hood. So the hood is a weird thing. You always have to shoot the hoods too. So what I usually do is I pull it out here on the sides and then kind of flatten it in. I'll basically get it the way that you want to show it on the mannequin. Sides. Yeah, this one you can almost kind of crease ahead of time because of the way that it's going to be placed on the mannequin. Alright, well, that should be steaming for you. Alright, those are steamed. First thing you do, like, yeah, I usually just start with the arms off because it's easier to do that. If you're doing pants or something, go ahead and disassemble the body, put your pant legs on, and then set that back on there. And then put your medium torso back on, pull it up, and then straighten it out, and then you'd shoot from the waist down on that. So, but we're doing, this is going to
and
be...
there's that middle section too.
Oh, there's another middle section too. So we're doing like a longer length thing on this. So this would be like, you don't have to pull the camera back a ways. But it's always easier, like I said, to start with the arms and legs off. So I'm gonna pull this thing down. And you pull it up over her head like that. And then try and straighten, let's say, the seams like right there under her shoulders. So then they'll hopefully be going like right even right there on her shoulders. And you'll grab her arms, put her arms in. Now it's just a long tedious process of walking back and forth to the camera and making sure that you've got the best lineup on if you're shooting. So now this is a weird one because it's got this like wonky bottom. So you're gonna have to like even out what the difference is between what you're doing with the bottom and the top. So I don't know, can you see here?
Mm-hmm.
I need to come in a little bit, but try and get this straight. Yes, you have to tweak her nipples every once in a while, but it's a necessary evil. So I'm like just tucking this in on the inside and then pulling this flat. So you're just kind of making as many straight lines with as few wrinkles as possible. Just tuck and smooth, and then pull and tuck and smooth. And so then you get a nice line right there. Do the same thing on this side, tuck and smooth, tuck and smooth, pull this straight. See, I mean, a lot of it has to do with when it's, yeah, if after you steam it, then most of your wrinkles are gone, and so you should be ending up with just the actual shape of the fabric. So then we're getting this wonky line down here on the bottom, and I just kind of keep popping it out until I can get like my best version of a straight line. So just kind of like that, tuck it out, and then yeah, and then it wobbles back and then it falls back down. Right, pull it out. And then, hopefully, I mean, we still got some weird little wrinkle problems in here, but for the most part, if you go straight on with the camera, we'll just come right back here with the camera. Oh, see, we've got another little wrinkle. I'm just gonna pull the camera back up here. So then you'd kind of, hopefully, see, you'll see like weird little wonky things, wonky bits in there. So we'll say that we're straight on right there. And yeah, let's pop it back down here like this again. So then you hopefully pull that out. How's that look? Yeah, we still got some little weird wonky bits over here. So try and pull that out. Just kind of balance it. Like origami.
Very nice.
And then there you got, theoretically that's about as straight as that's gonna be. And oh, we might adjust the camera slightly. So yeah, it's still got a little bit of a weird bit right there. But you're trying to get rid of all of these little lines here and here. It's just about as straight as possible down here like that, and then coming back down, and then an even shape all the way down. And so it'll be easy to remove the background. This is a little bit skewed. Hopefully what the cleaner can actually just skew that slightly back and then flatten out the bottom, and then this can be easily removed in a layer mask to remove that. And then, I mean, her hips are a little bit wonky. There's not much you could do. But that's about the best you're going to get on something like that. And then, yeah, you have to get that shot when it works as fast as you can before this happens again. And then you have to just come back over here and then do it again. And then make sure that it's back to normal. And you want to make sure that this is as flat as possible and straight on, straight to the camera. But then the next thing that you do, after you take that shot, take your arms back off. Alright, we're going to have to probably go off the tripod on this one because we're going to go on the floor. So then the best way to do this is I just do it on the floor. And I'll do this every single time to keep those images next to each other. So pull it up from the bottom. Get that as straight as possible from the bottom. And then you just pull it out like that. And the reason that you want to get that flat like that is because the wrinkles that are going to show up on the detail shot are usually coming from the bottom of whatever you're shooting. So once you've laid it down flat on the floor, kind of go through here and then work out the wrinkles until you can get it as flat as humanly possible. And then you would just pop right around here and then get your focus on, and then there's your detail shot. So we would take that and boom, that was me taking the picture. So then you come back around like this and you flip it inside out. Now you do the same thing with your next shot. So you flip that around and lay that down like that. And then just try and get that again as even and as flat as possible. And then you grab your camera again, come in here, set your focus on that, like that, pull it out, and then you frame it as best as possible, and then you take that shot. And that's the next shot. Now, you start all over again with the next product. Flip this back inside out, right side out. I don't know, it might not matter for you because we usually do this for model shots, so we'll usually keep this steamed thing on the hanger and then keep it not wrinkly for as long as possible until the model comes in. Alright, next product. Here we go. Now, we've got this one with some sleeves. And this one's interesting because it's actually printed wonky, so also going to be fun. Alright, here we go. So this one with long sleeves. So we do the same thing, pull it down here like this. Start with the bottom, pull it up over her head, and first thing I do usually is adjust this hood. I don't know if you can get this angle, it might be better over here or something. So you take the hood, and set that, drape it a little bit back like that. Then you grab the arms. Arms are the second thing you grab. And I usually go in through here, flip that, in through here, clip that. Alright, now it comes to the arranging. So I usually throw the arms back a little ways first, and then pull it down like this. Try and get this. Yeah, see this one's printed weird, where like the actual fabric itself is like skewed, so it's kind of an awkward product to begin with. So for this hood, pull the hood fully down like this, and then come out to the sides until it's about equal there, and then start pulling down from the back of the seam until you get like a nice even hood line like that. And then kind of tuck this up a little bit. And like that. Tuck this up a little bit. And like that. Kind of fluff that up a bit. Still have to grope her a little bit. Happens. So after, say I had the arms back like that, so pulled them back. So then you kind of tuck in with the arm and then pull that forward as far as you can. And then this is where you start to fill in that little back flow back there. And it's just fluffing and tucking, fluffing and tucking, fluff and tuck. And So we get something like that. And then make sure that arm is straight. And now we do the other side. Oh, pull this back. Pull the arm forward. Keep it straight. And then we still have all these wrinkles right in here. So fluff and tuck. Fluff and tuck. Pull that in like that. And see, we got straight arms with as few wrinkles as you possibly can. So this is where it gets weird. Like, so we've got some weirdness going on with this sleeve, where it's a little bit longer, and then we've got. This is not our fault. This is manufacturer problem. Like this is absolutely as straight as we can possibly get, as far as I can tell here. Like pulling it down. So yeah, this is actually just sewn crooked. That's something we can try and fix and take in the picture, but I mean, there's not really, I don't know what else we can do. There's not much you can do. That's just how that product really is in real life. So, yeah, I'm gonna pull this out. I mean, you can try and it just doesn't work. Like, yeah, because honestly, we're trying to show it what it looks like on a human body, and it's going to be warped. But that's what the detail shot is for, so don't worry too much about that. I mean, we've tried it in the past, it just doesn't work. Like, if you try and do weird angles, then it looks funky. And you can't, we just have to maintain consistency, especially in the thumbnails, because if every single image has a different angle on the thumbnail page, then everything's going to look completely chaotic. And so we just kind of have to set a standard, and it's either going to work for everything or it's not going to work. But you can't just go willy-nilly, randomly shooting things in different angles every single time. Or we'll have to go back and reshoot everything that we've ever shot before. And you don't want to do that, because that's going to take way too long. So let's see, how are we looking on that? So then what you'd want to do is place the camera at an angle, sorry about that, Tanya. So what you want to do is place the camera sort of at an angle that's like dead on. And of course you'd do this vertically, but film doesn't really work vertically like that. So we're dead on here, and then we're looking at where the problem area is. They got problem areas here, here. This is a little funky, and then we've got this weird thing here. So when we come back in, tweak, 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 fluff, 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 tweak, 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 pull this in, and that arm forward a little bit, fluff this out, pull this in, out. And then that looks about as good as we're gonna get. Yeah, this, as you can see, is sewn sideways. We had a lot of problems with this particular product because of that issue, but that's just the way it is. So, and then we take this shot. Boom. This is us taking the shot. Let's take the focal area. And boom, there's our shot, I guess. Then flip this back around. Now we have to readjust it specifically for the back. So let's try and shoot this at an angle for right now. Grab this, tuck the knot back in, pull this up, and then make this nice and flat and straight. Tuck that in. Tweak, tuck and tweak. Pull that straight. you know, it's never gonna be perfect. It's never gonna be perfect. You can get it as best you can, but it will never ever get there. Then you just kind of move the camera around until you got a good spot for it. This would probably, I'd go higher up on something like this. And then, yeah, you want to try and get this sealed off as much as possible because we don't really want any overflow into the background for the cleaners to have to go in and cut out. It's a lot of like adjusting, looking. Look at the camera, adjust, look, adjust. And then look. We're getting there. It's like sculpting fabric. I mean, yeah, you could sit here and tape everything, but then you'd have to take all the tape back off, and then that's a giant mess. And then there's tape everywhere, and then when you run out of tape, then you have to go buy new tape to go do more. So, I don't know, I find it works just as well to just kind of tweak it around. I mean, it doesn't have to last forever, it just has to last for long enough to take a picture, which hopefully shouldn't. Yeah, it's wonky. I mean, I understand that. It's wonky down here, but what are you gonna do? Yeah, I guess that's about. So I think you move the camera around a little bit. How's that? That's just about the best we're gonna get. How's that look? Dang it. It still looks wonky. Yeah, I think that's the best that we're gonna get. So then you take that shot. Like I said, you have to weigh it on how much time it's going to take you to keep doing it in the real world and how long it would take somebody in Photoshop to fix it. So, yeah, well, I'm going to say that that's good. So then you do the same thing, where you flip it back around, take her arms off. I usually take the shirt off like that, and then I'll set her arms down. Back off of there. So this is when you do the detail shot again. Grab it on the bottom, line up the seams on the bottom, pull it straight up, and then you flick and drop. And then comes the fun part again. Adjusting the wrinkles of the fabric back out of your detail shot. And like I said, the wrinkles on the bottom are what are going to get you the worst on here. So flatten, 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 flatten. Flatten, flatten. like as us. And you come in here, and then line up your detail shot. Zoom in. There we go, we've got the fabric. Zoom out, and there's your entire detail shot, and click. Boom, we got that detail shot. Then we do the neck again. And you flip it inside out. So the hoods have like a special issue to them too, because the neck shot has to reflect that there's a hood in it. So you kind of have to pull the hood up a little bit further than the collar. And then that'll fill in the rest of the hood shot. So that's kind of a wonky, weird thing that you have to do. Yeah. There we go, kind of like a turtle's neck. So then, now it's popping up a little bit out. Spin that neck shot out a little bit. Make sure we get it as flat as possible. And then come back in here. Set your focus. Pull out to right there. Make sure you get some ample neck space, and then boom, there you go. There's your neck shot. And hopefully that helped. I'll just say, oh, bye bye.
Thanks, Luke.